Hello and welcome to episode 419 of 10 o'clock. It took me a few clicks there to make the intro appear, but there we have an intro. I am MDRLOz, and this is Xeno. We are here to mumble a bit about Warframe, as we love to do every week. See, we don't actually do this to record a podcast. We must get together and mumble about Warframe. Just even before we started recording, we would just do this. And we thought, hey, let's just start recording it. And that's how that happened. True story. Not true story. Anyway, let us move on.
Did people complain saying that we mumbled?
No one complains.
Okay.
I complained. But what we don't complain about is emblems. So we have 2 emblems from this week.
Mine wins.
I think yours is pretty good. I don't quite get what's going on with Alad's face, though.
I swear it's a meme of some form. Like, I recognize
my
the
meme senses are tingling.
Yeah, no, I do. They are. Like, I do recognize the meme format. I just can't place which one it is.
What's that meme?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if anyone knows that meme, let us know in the description below. So, emblems go bye-bye. You win for this week. But if people, in fact, before they go, would you like to tell people things?
Yeah, if you wish to win 75 Platinum for your platform of choice, go in the description below. Well, you'll find a form to this week's polls. Simply go to the polls. You know, put in your in-game name, select your platform, just fill it in as much as you want, and you'll be entered in for a chance to win 75 Platinum for your platform of choice. If you're on console, there's a really high chance that you're going to win. Gosh, oh yeah, make sure you get the in-game name correct, because if it's wrong and DE contact me and say, hey, Xeno, this name, it doesn't exist in our database, I'd be like, first off, it's database, and second, well,
he would do that.
that platform. I would. I really would.
He would. Yeah, and that platinum just goes. That's it. We can't reassign it.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
No, just goes.
I can't be bothered to deal with that crap.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So make sure you get your name spelt right.
Yes. Anyway. Just to let people know, I know we keep harping on about this. It's because this does happen quite regularly, and Xeno's like, "Oh, okay." People on the Xbox just don't get any platinum this week.
Yeah. So like there was one person that had won, and they'd put in like a name which was FG. Like it was some really crazy, like nonsensical concoction. I actually turned to DE first and said, "Is this name legit?" And they got back to me, luckily in time, and said, "No, that's not legit." So I picked someone else.
Nice.
So yeah.
Right. Well,
anyway,
now that we've done that, we will move on to
Dojo Dusting. Right, so take the time. Dojo Dusting. We still need to sort out the
dust in his dojos.
Are you going to turn off the
I guess I
emblems?
Could. Right. I was too busy looking for dust. Look at all this. I need to look at all this dust. Yeah, dust everywhere. Yeah. So much so that I fogged up my camera.
Cyclamal on I think it's Cyclamal on PC, so Lock a Lot 94 on PlayStation, Storm Fist 101 on Xbox, Tucker Wins on Switch.
Tucker Wins!
You've all won 75 Platinum for your platform of choice. So yeah, it's going to be coming to you soon. I did ask DE, like, is there going to be like a cooldown period, but they haven't actually confirmed the dates as of yet. But I imagine we'll have at least one more before
Christmas, New Year.
No, they're shut down.
Christmas shutdown.
Yeah. So
you said cooldown period, and it's like, what does that mean? You mean that there might be a period in which we, there might not be.
No. So there might be one giveaway that's like 4 weeks instead of 2.
Right.
Yeah. So
happens.
Yep. I think that's it in terms of Dojo Dusting. I can't really think of much else. Actually, here's one. If everything goes to plan, a video shall be coming out on the main channel. Maybe we should put it on 10 o'clock. Maybe we'll put it on 10 o'clock. If all goes to plan, a video will be coming out Tuesday, tomorrow of December. Yeah. I can't go into details. But yeah. Just saying, like, look out for it.
This is going to be a special episode of... This is going to be a special episode of Arbiters with like a message where like one
Oh,
of the Arbiters
fucking!
dies.
I told you not to tell them. Oh, I
Sadly,
can't
the voice of
believe you
Arbiter
ruined.
3 died. If these events
Anyway.
have troubled you at home, please visit these people and this phone number and this website. Yeah.
Right. I don't
Now
know
we
what
have
you're
a very
talking about.
special. Oh no! Do you not know about very special episodes in America?
No.
Oh, so okay, I'm not an expert on it. I'm sure some of our American viewers will be able to give us a much better description of how it is. But normally, you know, in most TV shows or sitcoms, they'll have an episode where a character dies or a character suffers from drug dependency or something, and they're referred to as a very special episode. And at the end, it'll be like, you know, it'll have a thing saying it gets all serious and it has like, you know, for help in these issues, contacting it. It'll tell you about some charities and things that are helping it. But they, you know, they're referred to it as a very special episode. I can't remember what thing did the joke meme that I keep referring to about that. But yeah.
So I hate to point this out, Loz. We didn't start the background footage.
We're 6 minutes in. Do you think they'll notice?
No.
Let's just play.
Just play the thing.
Ah, no! How have I done
Just
this?
play.
Did it play? There we go. I didn't hover. There we go. Look, it's Siren. It's all been playing. How many years have we been doing this? It's just. I was staring at it with the emblems as well.
I was staring at it, going like, wow, I was standing really still for a while.
I'm going to imagine some people in the comments are going to be like, God, they're going to play the footage. God, is it going to be the whole episode with no footage?
No, I'm wondering.
I'm sorry,
like,
everyone in the comments.
if they've taken like bets and they're like, which one's going to notice first? Right.
Any longer, and I said we just start again. But okay, we're only 6 minutes in. Okay, let's just make a move. Let's keep moving on. Dojo Dusting started the footage. Right, I've got like hours of footage as well. Let's move on.
Let's go to the
War Report, which now has footage to background as I look for. I can't even know what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for a war frame or something. I have no idea. Anyway, the War Report. So, points I've got from the War Report this week. Obviously, we have the new War release date. Woo!
Yep.
When is it going to be, Xeno?
The 15th of December 2022.
Yeah, we don't have a time on that, so someone work out when the last minute of the day is in Canada time for that, and that's when it'll be released.
Did you not see what I did there?
No?
15th of December 2022. What year are we?
2027.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Are you time travelling again?
Yes, clearly.
Your non-Euclidean geometry. What's that from?
You humans think in such fourth dimensions.
Right, moving on though. So from a release date, how many? So when this comes out on Monday, it'll be what, a week and a half?
A week and 2 days. In theory.
It's getting close.
Yeah.
Right. However, here's some other things though for the War Report. Did you know about the Avara's collector statue?
That only just got announced earlier today, and I'm like, damn it, do I need to buy Vault and Avara now?
Yes, you know, so what was it? They did a Lotus, and I was like, I don't really care about Lotus and bloody Operator. I'm like, that's not a Warframe. Can't have that. And it was like Vault, and I'm like, Vault.
Yeah.
Oh. And then it's like Avara with Kavat, with cool spinny thing, with Prax card. I'm like, you know how to push my buttons, do you?
Yeah.
They tried to do the Vault thing. It's like paint your own Vault. I'm like, nah.
Well, the paint your own Vault is pretty cool.
I like the concept, but it's just not. It doesn't interest me, is what I mean. There's probably. I can't wait till
I'd have to pay someone to do it for me. But the thing is, I don't play Vault. I don't have a Vault setup that is like, you know, color schemed and things. And
saying that, I've seen people play Vault do some ridiculous things. I think in some of this footage here, there'll be I think one of the Gift of Lotus or something I did this day, and just this Vault just stood in the middle of the room, just killed everything. It's ridiculous. Oh well, but still, that Avara. Oh. So, just so people know, there is the Avara collector statue coming. I'm not entirely sure, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you can buy the Avara statue or the complete bundle, which is like a collector set of it. I think there's going to be 1,000 collector sets, but I think it's so much simpler since I think this is why we're able to get more of these statues now, because they had to sit on the rhinos until they were gone. So they made far too many of them.
Okay. Right. I know I joked when I said New War was coming out in December 2022.
Yeah. This
is coming out in December 2022.
What?
Right? Additional notes. Orders are expected to ship December 2022. Additional items added to your cart will also be shipped in December 2022. Products shown as a prototype and the final high detail may change. Platinum is non-tradable. Code for digital goods will physically accompany the statue. But it's like, I'm ordering this over a year in advance.
If that's what it takes these days to get... It's a good statue, though. Come on, man. It does look
very good.
Compared to some of the old ones, I think it could be one of the best statues they've done, and I'm quite interested in it, and Vault did not. I was like, eh. And that's fair enough. You know, things are coming a year in advance. I don't mind that too much. But if this is the system they have to do to make sure they can get statues produced, there's 1,000 limited editions, and I assume those will go quite quickly. But then any additional ones are based entirely on what people order, rather than how it was before, where they ordered, I think it was 4,000 rhinos?
I think it was
5,000. And they had those in stock for so long. In fact, I remember we went to TennoCon one year, and you could see the next building over from DE Studio, and you could see it was like a perspex window at the top, and you could just see stacks of rhino statues.
Yeah.
Just stacks of them. They just gave them away and just, but they're all sold out now. So if this system works, but anyway, if you are interested in a Navara collector statue,
and the shipping.
What?
82.88
on the shipping.
Yeah.
My word.
So, and then you've got tax on top. So I'm looking at it. Sorry. This is like we're all getting like really hot and bothered for the statue. Now all of a sudden I turn around, it's $315.
What, Switch for less? That's a
Well,
nice statue, though.
It is a nice statue. It's really expensive,
and it comes with that badge spins.
I may be pre-ordering it.
and the Prex card. I love the Prex card as well. You know, I mean, that's the kind of thing I'd love to put in that on a wall, man. It's pretty.
Okay.
Pretty picture.
Okay, I've pre-ordered it.
Okay, moving on. The other thing, just to let people...
though, I just hope that I'm still living at that address by the time it fucking comes to me.
That's a fair point, but why don't you make a ticket to RSD, and I'm sure they'd be you'd be able to update it if you moved, if you do it in fair time. I'm sure that they'd be sort that out. Anyway, another thing, just to let people know, there are discounts for winter stuff in the Warframe store online, I think for the next month, obviously because we are in the month of December now. So there's solstice bundles and whatnots, and like there's the stuff available for 1 credit, like the candy canes.
Yeah.
Right. I think once, actually, if people go back to like 10 o'clock 7 or something, I think when they kept that in the game, I promised like I would keep using it till they removed it in the game. That didn't last a long time. That'd been a losing battle. Right, anyway, moving on. So that is it for the war report. Let us move on to the topics of this week, Xeno.
Cool. I feel like you're missing something.
Let me just check. Emblems, Dojo Dusting, the war report.
Oh no, we've also got Harrow Prime coming out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's been...
Yeah, that was announced.
Well, no, that why not? I think isn't that on that? I remember you showed me that cool new website for the new war. Shows all that cool doodad stuff. I assume if you just Google Warframe the new war, you'll probably go straight to it. If not, there's probably a link on the Warframe landing page.
Yeah,
probably check that out. Because there was some cool skins. I remember you showed it to me, and there's some cool skins for
Mesa and Vault.
Yes, and those look pretty good. Right, yeah, I'm sure we'll shove it in the thing bottom, but everyone will check it out. Anyway, I'm going to push this topic button again, because look, people need to know. Topics.
We're on topics.
Topics.
Okay, topics. So, topic 1, as I frantically try to take the time, is that 15:30? I can't read that.
14:01.
Cool. So, the first topic for today is, why is Warframe so adverse to 100% drop rates? And topic 2, what I wish I knew when starting Steel Path? That might actually help me. I'm not going to lie. Right?
Yeah. So, I just say I haven't finished Steel Path yet. I don't know where I've got to, but more to do still.
I can't... Oh, God, what was I doing? I can't remember what I was doing recently. I was like, why are they dying? Right. So topic 1, why is Warframe so adverse to 100% drop rates? I want the new hotness and current events faster, Not being able to progress on the goal over a mission is agonizing. I would happily farm less optimal missions just so I know that everything I do is actually making progress. Streaks of bad luck are by far the easiest way for me to get burnt out. So I can only assume they're talking about 100% drop chance of the Aya.
Interestingly, that's not. Oh no, no, yep, you are right. So before we do it, actually, because I have sometimes, he does a sterling job of attempting to filter the. I'm not going to say this stupid. That sounds mean. Filtering the maybe not proofread comments that are found into a form that we can actually try and understand. Now, so once again, because we don't do it enough. Thank Tobiah for finding all these topics and translating them from gimme, now into legible comments people are trying to put forward. Such as, and that's what I want the new hotness and current events faster is, because in the actual thing, they're like, I did the hollow keys and IO and give me now, basically. So, yes, just want to thank Tobiah for that. So, thank you for that, Tobiah. But yeah, so this person has been farming Aya, and I think it was the hollow keys. And they say, they're basically complaining that they'll do missions, and sometimes they don't make progress.
I mean, it's oh my god. I don't want to say it's a catch-22. How do I want to propose this? It's if you made this resource, actually, sorry, I want to call out this person saying like they would do it less optimal ways, right? I'm sorry, I call bollocks, right? If you were to change it so that every mission reward drops Aya, yeah,
Right.
1 Aya, and so let's assume that in, let's say, 3 hours of doing nothing but capture missions, you could get, what, 1 Aya every 5 minutes? Does that sound fair?
Okay, yep.
Nothing but capture missions. So 3 hours, so that's 3 times 60 is 180, divided by 5 is a number I need a calculator for because I'm too tired. 180 divided by 5. 36. So that's 36 Aya. So should you that now, instead of being charged 1 Aya per relic, be charged 36 Aya per relic?
Well, you'd have to be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So then if you were to take less optimal ways, right? Let's say, actually, no, I think a capture every 5 minutes is too high because that's the same as a survival, right? But even so, like, okay, so say you could do a capture in 1 minute and 30 seconds or 2
Okay.
minutes, right? You could get that 36 Aya in less than half the time that it would take you to do just 5 minute survivals.
Hmm.
Yeah?
Hmm.
So you telling me that you would actively choose like, oh, I would do defense. Defense being, I mean, I'm pretty sure from maybe perception, though perception can often be wrong. Defense is like the slowest of the game modes. It's still like
Yeah, well, you mean player perception if you were to assess people feeling how far the game mode was going, yeah, because you don't really have a handle on each wave when each wave starts and finishes. You just know that you're in
yeah.
X wave, and you don't know, are you 2 mobs away from the end of the wave, or has the wave just started?
Well, it's not just that, but it's also like, have I finished doing this yet?
Hmm.
Am I there yet? Right. And it feels like, people say like, oh yeah, I'll do a defense instead where it's 7 minutes per eye. No, you fucking wouldn't. You could get three and a half Aya in the time, or 3 to 4 Aya in the time it would take you to get 1 Aya from a fucking defense. You genuinely telling me that you would actively choose to do that was like, nah, you're fucking pulling one.
It's a
You're
tricky
trying
thing
pull
to
one.
know because I know we have in the past stated for it, and I know I prefer where instead of getting one thing on RNG that's like 5% chance of getting something, I would much prefer getting a fragment of it guaranteed each time, and I just had to blitz it out. But it is this is a key thing for Skinnerbox techniques. If there's a button, the rat, and I think as I recall, if I get this wrong, I could look it up, and I do normally know this, but like if there's a button, and you just make it push the button, give food. But if you make it that it randomly gives out the food, the rat will just get more food, and it'll just keep going because it knows. Oh, if it knows food gives one button push is food, it'll eat a lot, but it won't push forever. But if it knows that it's a random chance, it will go well beyond the amount that it would have eaten if the button was one push for one food.
Yeah.
So, and we're the same. We're still biological creatures, so that's where the RNG comes from. Because you go, wow, I got an higher. Wow, that's really cool. Whereas if you're like, oh god, I'm gonna have to grind this mission 17 more times to get the last 17 fragments on top of the 3 fragments I have to make the 20, you get frustrated. Yeah, but if it's like random chance, like mission nothing, and 5 missions later, oh, whole higher, wow.
I mean, I don't know if you remember the days of Diablo 3.
Yes, we very much
or even Diablo 2. Yeah. But it was a point where, I want to make these gems. In order to make the gems, I have to start from like the bottom rung of the tier. I mean, that's what it was like in Diablo 2. Because none of the higher level gem cuts would drop naturally.
Yeah.
So But in Diablo 3, when they released the expansion Reaper of Souls, all the top level gems would drop straight away from Act 5, right? And you would have 3 more levels of gems. It's like, don't fucking bother. Just wait until you get to Act 5. It takes like, I don't know, a couple of hours to get to Act 5, and then you just got the best shit. There was no point in actually doing any of the... Because it was so time-consuming. So in order to make the first improvement, so like level 2, you had to have 3 of level 1. In order to make level 3, you had to have 3 of level 2, which meant you had to have 9 of level 1. If you wanted to make level 4, you had to have 3 of level 3, which got 9 of level 2, and 27 of level 1, and it just escalated massively, right? And it just wasn't fun to do. Especially when you like, I'm gonna socket. Luckily, you could unsocket things, thank God. But in Diablo 2, you couldn't. As soon as you'd socket it, that's it. It's spent. You can't get it back. You can't unsocket it.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't like that sort of system at all, because it just feels like truck tons of busy work.
I feel there's room for both systems for different things.
Yeah. I mean, I personally think that one of the best resources in the game is argon crystals. For the simple fact that whenever you're building something, be it Wisp chassis or Wukong, whatever parts you're building, it's never the end of the world, because you only ever need like 1 argon, right? And
sometimes you need like 2. It's like, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, still, but like, okay, yeah, there are the rare instances where I think like Valban requires 20 in total, right?
Yeah, but it's multiple sections and.
Yes, yeah.
Fact,
the whole
we'll
point
bring the wiki up just in case I'm missing something.
But the whole point is with argon is that, yes, it's a resource that decays over a 24-hour period.
Okay, I just want to correct, because other people will get this in the comments. There are a few things that need more. The Bizammo Cuirass, which is a cosmetic, takes 5. Amprex 3, Bubonico 3, Ignis Ray 3, Mantis Engines 3, Nikana 3/1, I don't know where that. Potent Ferrolac Pod 3, Scimitar Engines 3, Xiphos Engines 3. Then there is a few things at 2, but I won't read out the whole list. So at most you need 5 for one thing, which is a cosmetic. But most, like, let's say I wanted to build the Amprex, that's 3 crystals. So I can just be like, right, get everything else for the Amprex, go get my 3 crystals.
I mean, what was it? We did one run, and I got 20.
Yeah, but you did have a booster on.
Yeah, I had a booster and a Smetic of that, but I still got 20.
Realistically, you found 10.
Fine. Realistically, I found 10.
Yeah, I think it was for about 30 minutes work.
Yeah? Yeah, was it?
It's 20, 30 minutes, somewhere around there.
I know we went to go help. No, no. Yeah, it was. I think it was around the 20-minute mark, because then we did a 30-minute run to help Awesome Todd do one of the night waves.
Hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
So, yeah, it's. So I much prefer that kind of resource rather than something that DE can't properly control, because people have their loot caves, people have their millions upon gajillions of resource, so that they don't have to worry about. This is when people are saying, like, oh, can we please get Harrow Prime from Aya? I'm like, no, because you got to fucking farm all the Aya now.
Yeah, somebody said that, didn't
and
they?
then, yeah, it was like last week, so it was the topic.
Oh.
So, I mean, how often in the earlier days of Warframe, when primary reinforcements would drop, would you just log in, get the thing building, and then log out until it's done? You wouldn't have anything to farm. You wouldn't have anything to do. You just build it.
Yeah, and seeing as most of the
then log in
resources were, you had piles of them back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So, right. I don't know if there's any other points I want to make to this. Is there any points you want to make to this?
Yeah. So, the thing of the point of why is Warframe so adverse to 100% drop rates? Do you think anything should have a 100% drop rate? Because there are things with 100% drop rates, in theory, when you go do a Warframe. Because this person doesn't even realise it. I mean, I suppose you could trick me and say, oh, but it's not 100% for every part of the Warframe. But Warframe has 100% drop rates for frame parts on bosses.
Yeah.
You will get a frame part. It is something that these things do exist in the game. So as for the other things like hollow keys and Aya, I mean, if you were
I think
you made a good point earlier.
Yeah.
When you said about if you increase the amount of Aya to 5 minutes for an Aya, you'd have to up the amount the things cost. The only other way to give you a 100% drop chance for, let's say, an Aya would be to put in a mission which takes a set amount of time to obtain that.
Yeah.
So what they think 1 hour is worth. Let's say they say 1 hour is 20 minutes. And that's because the expected rate, obviously sometimes you'll get higher, sometimes you get lower, but the expected rate of Aya generation should be 3 an hour. Then you'd have to go do a 20-minute mission and generate 1 Aya. So,
yeah.
Or another way they could do it is they could give you a mission that you could do once per week. This is what they could have done. They could have done something like this. A mission you could do once per week over the course of Prime Resurgence. So I think it's running for like 6 weeks, I think. I can't quite remember exactly if I'm right.
Yeah.
And then so you'd be able to do this once a week, and it would give you, let's say, 5 Aya. But you can only do it once a week. Similar to the way you can get an Aya-tan per week from Maru. I mean, that, again, is a 100% drop chance. You go do an Aya-tan mission for Maru once a week, and you get an Aya-tan statue. So they could have done something like that.
I mean, looking at it...
Or maybe 3 Aya.
Looking at it differently, so when I was a wee lad, I used to work at a supermarket at a checkout, right? Day in, day out, I would scan in customers shopping, pack it for them, and then take the money from them to pay for the bill, right? That every day, right? It was the most tedious thing to do ever, right? And I only did it to save up money to go to university, right? If I had a choice, I would not be doing it at all, right? But as the adage from any of the dinosaurs from the Flintstones, it's a living, right? I feel that in a system like Warframe, if you were to have a resource that was 100% drop chance, it would feel too similar to a chore like a job, where people would just want to not do it because it's that is too grindy, right? You have to spend got 3 hours farming enough of this item just to try getting the relic once.
Yeah.
Right? I feel that is so much worse than just playing the game, getting different random bits and bobs all over the place to have a chance of getting the thing, but typically once every 3 hours you'll get one. I think that's much more reasonable.
Yes.
Do you not? Yeah?
No, I was going to say something and I've completely forgotten it now.
Why? Because my thing was so weird and stupid.
No, I got distracted by my Railjack footage. Oh no, in fact the Railjack footage just reminded me. Ah, yes, exactly. So, what was your point? Because I remember it. Because of Endo now, right?
Basically, guarantee 100%, it's a job.
Oh, it's a job. Yeah. No, I can get behind that, yeah. That's what I said earlier with that, let's say, if I had a thing where I had 3 fragments and I knew I had to do 17 more runs to get enough fragments.
Yeah.
Those have don't get me wrong. I think things like that have a place for different drops. You want variety. But you don't want that for everything, especially for these 2 things. Yeah. Was it for Aya? Especially Aya. I mean, they have to be careful with Aya because they already did find a loot cave for Aya and they had to remove it for all the people whinging because it was just the most efficient thing. It was causing stupid host migrations and destroying the ability. If anyone actually wanted to do the ghouls for the ghouls, it was completely destroying people's ability to do that. So they had to remove that and people whinged about it. But there is 2 points I would say in this person's favour because we do want to look at other things. Oh no, well, one point in their favour and then one thing of what I feel they should be doing. And Railjack and farming farming holokeys, I guess you could farm them from Sisters. Where else do you get them from?
Sisters. I'm pretty sure it's just Sisters.
No, there was somewhere else.
Chance on.
I know there's somewhere else. Yes, because it was added later.
I'm pretty sure
holokeys.
There was a chance on a sister running away, right? But then there's a guaranteed chance on sister death.
They can be obtained from Void Storms as an end of mission reward. That was the original thing, and it's about a 37.5% chance toward 5 corrupted holokeys from the table. Defeating sister piles and foe convocation will award 1 corrupted holokey to all players of the squad, up to a total of 4 holokeys for a full squad. There you go.
Fair enough. I thought it was just the sisters.
Oh, it's a varying amount of holokeys you get. Oh, for Earth to Venus to Vale. Okay, yeah. No. The sisters were added later, and it's just like a nice bonus, yeah, which is good. But what was my point? Oh, yes. To alleviate this person's problem, I do feel, and we have said this in the past, D does have a tendency to go, you do one thing, you get 1 reward for it.
Yes.
And that's a bit of a problem. It's nice when they do things like, and I really like it when they do things like they did for Exploiter Orb and the Tusk Tank things. That they give you a whole pile of resources. So even though you might be farming the Exploiter for Hildren, I think it is. I think it's Hildren. Or, bits and pieces drop from it. You'll also get a load of other rare resources that'll help you do something else. You're like, nice, I got loads of this.
Yeah.
I got another Exploiter little statue that I can stick in my Lisette. It's a lot of, you can get a chance at a variety of rewards. When it becomes something like Aya, and you're just farming the Aya for the Aya, that's when people get burnout. It's not the random reward, it's just that there's no other, they're not getting anything else out of it. And obviously, I'm not saying that they've added Aya into the game and they added it on existing missions, which gave you a reason to go to the Void, but they needed to add something else there. But I'm just meaning that a lot of the time, especially when they add something new, they do just go, oh, yes, you've done this one thing. You have 1 reward for doing it. Well done. You're like, at least a consideration prize. That's why I do like the new Railjack missions, which I'm doing here, because they do give you, a engine, a Railjack component. They give you a big part of Endo. They give you lots of other junk as well. So you feel you're getting your money's worth, let's say. And what was my other point? Damn it. Oh yeah,
Actually,
well, leading into that, the other thing to do is, as we've said this in the past, don't if you're getting bored of something, just stop doing it for a bit.
yeah.
Yeah, there are some people who literally that is the only thing they've got to do in the game, but there's plenty of other.
Go play
For
something
most
else.
people, yeah, play something else. Yeah, take a break.
Like
But
you know, when people say, "Oh, playing something else doesn't solve the problem," well, if you really think about it, it does because as Loz just pointed out, you've got nothing else to do. All you have to do is this one thing,
if you
right?
no, that's the extreme. I don't think most people are in that case. But I know, for instance, like our good friend Nazar has basically everything. And so, you
Yeah,
couldn't just say, go farm some focus, go farm some endo, go farm some mods, go level something. He doesn't really need anything. So there are a few people in that situation. So I don't want to say no one is, but I think they are a minority.
but if you go away for like X period of time, like a couple of years or a year or something like that, you'll give yourself the opportunity to amass a pile of things to do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I've barely played. I want to say this, since the sisters came out. I don't even have all the sister weapons. I don't
No,
have
me
all
neither.
of the
Me
lich
neither.
weapons. But now, like, I'm able to finally do my MR30 test, and I've actually been working towards doing that
Hmm.
now, right? In the as oh God, new war is looming over the horizon. It's only a few days away,
Mm.
and yeah,
No,
so
definitely, I
I've
agree with
been
you.
working towards that.
I've for the last year, I've not been playing Warframe to a silly degree, and I've still got stuff to
Yeah,
do in Deimos. I've got lich. I've never touched liches really, so I've got loads of lich weapons to farm, loads of sisters weapons to farm. I've got focus to train. I've got mods to level. So I get by okay, but I just think going to the extreme, you're just gonna burn yourself out. Whereas if you maybe leave a few things half finished, so you can come back to them. Maybe
yeah, and you can do it for other games as well,
yeah.
right?
Well,
Like,
I think you could do it just
I
to Warframe, to be honest, but.
no. I mean, like, leave things. Don't burn yourself on other games
No, no,
as
no, no,
much
no,
as
no,
you
no,
burn
no, no,
yourself
yeah.
on.
Yeah, no.
So
No, my
alternate
point
between the
was,
games.
for the majority of players, I think there is loads of different aspects within Warframe where they could just go, you know what, I'm not getting any hollow keys at the moment. I'm going to go and farm a new frame, level a new weapon, get a new sister, get a
Yeah,
new weapon, go farm some mods. They're having to do a bit of trading on the market, go get some prime, go stack up some
yeah.
ducats, go see if Barketeer's here. If he's
Bravo.
there,
Okay.
maybe go see what the Darvo deal of the day is in case you need it. You could just go like, I'll do that for a bit. I'll do this for a bit. I think even within Warframe, you can stop your burnout by going and doing something else. Go level your
Yeah.
Necromech. Go do some Deimos. Go do some bounties. Go to play some K Drive. Go
Out of
on.
interest, have you started leveling up your account again? Because I swear your account wasn't 27 before.
I don't. Oh no, you'll see me do the mastery test in some of this footage. I had to do it
Okay.
like 3 times because I did the test and I did it. It didn't count. I had to do it again. It was ridiculous.
Right.
But it's not. I'm not attending to level up my account. It's just I'm just randomly playing, and then it eventually moans at me. And normally people are like, "Loz, do your mastery rank test," because it's blinking at me. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, I'm up to 27 now. I think I'll get there. But I'm in no rush. I
Right.
used to be. I used to be in a big rush. I remember. I think I zoomed ahead of you at one point. I went to like
Oh,
17,
massively.
and you were back on 9. You're like, "Oh my god, I gotta catch Loz," and I'm like, "Yeah, just chill, no rush."
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go to the replies.
Agreed.
There is 100% drop rates. For example, Hepit Void has a 100% chance to drop Lith Relic. Ah, that's a
Cool.
good point actually. So the drop chances for things. There is a website that DE host with all the drop chances on, isn't there?
There's an API endpoint and services like Genesis
Genesis.
allow you to query those endpoints, and you could just go like, "Oh, tell me where can I find this key," and it'll tell you where it is and things.
Ah, there you go. Because Warframe is a farmer game, players will always find a way to do what you do 10 times faster. Take Eidolons, for example. For a casual player who can make one Tridolon per night, 100% drop could be good enough. But we, in the Warframe community, love pushing the game to its limits, like doing more than 3 Eidolon hunts per night. My
Yeah,
word.
yeah, exactly. They do. I assume that's a Tridolon.
I assume
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think.
So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 3 tridolons in a night. Exactly, that's the point.
Yeah.
Right?
I
So
assume the expected from DE is that you do 1 Tridolon in a night, and that's the expected average player's ability to complete. But some people,
and like I hate to say this, right? But
he hates
the big
he's
thing,
hating himself right now.
well, the big thing is like if it's a chance, the sad truth is you can manipulate that chance, right? You can go, they already had one like 90 minutes ago. Sorry, they had one 30 minutes ago. They had an ire droplet ire. They got some ire 30 minutes ago. So yes, they have a chance to get ire again now, but we're gonna weight it so that it's less likely to happen. Yeah?
Right, yes, they could do that. That'd be evil.
It'd be evil, but like that's how slot machines work. That's how gambling machines work.
Yes, that's evil.
Yeah, but people still accept it.
Yes. Well, not all gambling machines work like that, though, actually. I think in casinos they would work, but for instance, I just want to point out things like app games and gacha things have to show their drop chances as a legal requirement. They couldn't play that kind of system.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. To be fair, wasn't it like some gacha games? Like, if God, it was proven if you. I can't remember. You know what? The proof of burden. The burden of proof is on me.
Well, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I read an article somewhere that basically highlighted some games by, I think it was EA, that showed how if you played early on, like you were actually being paired. Oh God, was it? I think it was Battlefront 2.
No, are you talking about Call of Duty Mobile? I remember something about a bundle, and there was like rare items in the bundle, and the order you got them in was fixed or something, even though it doesn't make out that it is.
No, that wasn't the one I was thinking of. The one I'm thinking of is that basically you are matched against other players, but you are given an advantage, which is supposed to influence you to spend more money.
No, so the players who pay will be matched against players who don't play more often.
Yeah.
So that on the enemy side, so the players who pay feel like they're getting worth out of their payments, and thus the players who aren't paying should be are basically encouraged that God, I'm sucking. Oh, I must have to do better. I need to put some money in so that so I can get the good stuff. Or they might see, oh my God, what was I killed by? Oh God, that's an elite gun. Wow, I better buy loot boxes so that I too can obtain the elite gun. Really scummy.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So even though they were showing the prices, they were still fixing showing the percentages. Yeah. They were still fixing it with the algorithm. And
they were gaming the player base to try and
Yeah.
I think if they were open with that, I think it'd be fine, because then it would be like, right, if you want a challenge, free to play it.
Yeah.
People do love challenge. Right, the next point is player retention. They will take any they can get. If you had 100%, if you have 100% of dropping something and getting done with whatever farm you are going through in, let's say, 2 hours, how can they milk you into actually doing the same farm for 10 hours? Oh, sorry, there's more. There's also the annoy the player enough that they decide to skip the grind with cash route. That's also a thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
just RNG,
I think the point is that even if you were to make it last 10 hours still and increase the amount you needed, but it was a guaranteed drop, like it just wouldn't be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Right? Because you could sit down, you could work out how long would it take and not only do companies game the system, but so do gamers, right? So do people. They always look for the path of least resistance. They always look for the loot cave, right? So
I would say, though, I don't think anything in Warframe is that ridiculous. I can't remember the specifics of it, but do you remember we looked up recently when they added it in, the cosmetic system in Destiny, and how all the players were complaining?
What
there,
are we
there
talking
was
about? The
there was basically caps on how much free currency you could obtain per day or per week or per season or something, and thus it
I
meant
can't
that
remember.
it would take you a crazy amount of time just to get one cosmetic set finished. It was something like items that allowed you to like unbind or turn it into, to turn any item into a uh, let's say transmogrifier, putting it in your transmog library, and you can only get
Yeah,
so many of these items per season. So to get like everything done would take like hundreds of years because of the rate at which you were allowed by the game, artificially limiting how much you could get per season of this resource.
right.
Or you could buy it. I think maybe it's limited how much you could buy as well. It was just ridiculous. Whereas Warframe has never been that bad. So, yeah,
Yeah.
always put things in context. Right, last one. Playing the game is supposed to be the fun part. Getting items, guns, and warframes is supposed to be the reward of playing the game. If a lot of things had a 100% drop chance, people would just get everything really fast and then stop playing. The game is about building a collection to use to build a bigger collection. It's why buying things with Plat is considered cheating to a lot of people, especially early on. I wouldn't say cheating.
God,
Cheating is wrong.
I really feel that people are missing the point, because they can make it, they can stack it in a way that still takes you hours and hours and hours to obtain all the stuff. But the problem is, like, it doesn't feel rewarding just working at it. This shouldn't feel like a job. That's the important thing that everyone seems like.
No, that's what this person's saying. Playing the game is supposed to be the fun part.
No, but they're saying that if there was a 100% chance to drop, they'll burn through the whole thing in like a couple of hours. So, oh no, sorry, I'm misreading the wrong one. No, yeah, they still say that like people will burn through it really, really quickly. But my point is that no, the game devs would artificially lengthen it more. So you'd need like 10 times the resources if it was a 100% drop
No,
chance.
that's not what they're saying though. They're saying if you did give everyone everything, they'd get bored.
If a lot of things had a 100% drop chance, people
People
would
would
get
get
everything really fast
and then stop
and
playing.
stop playing.
And then your sentence
Yeah.
isn't against what they're saying. It's kind of agreeing with them that yeah, that's true. So what would happen is the devs would lengthen the amount you
Yeah.
need.
Okay.
So you're kind of with them, not against them on that.
Yeah, it's just I think everyone's missing that entirely.
No, I think this person gets you, this last person, because they're also pointing out that playing games the fun part, and then the rewards are kind of like the intention of why you want to do that fun part. Because you can't just
Yeah, like I don't understand players that don't enjoy playing the game. Like it's you know, how do I describe this? If you're not enjoying the gameplay,
Yep.
if you're not enjoying the combat system, if you're not enjoying any element of the game, but you're playing it, my god honest question is, why are you playing it? If you don't like the PvE, if you don't like the horde shooter element, if you don't like the plethora of weapons, if you don't like the I don't understand, why do people play it? Right? I've heard people that complain about League of Legends left, right, and center, yet they still play it. Like, why are you playing it? You don't like the game. Yeah, but it's just the way it is, isn't it?
I'll try a bit on devil's advocate and say that I do love the game as a whole and a lot of elements in it, but I do find a few bits overly repetitive, like or just so samey. My problem, this is my problem. I'm not trying to put it on the person. Maybe they got their own feels from it, but
Yeah.
I have the problem in the game because. Okay, I don't go and watch masses of YouTube videos to explain to me what every Warframe does. I try and get into new Warframes, and I just find I cast abilities, and then I'm just like, but I could just shoot things. The game, the majority of the game, maybe I need to play more Steel Path or something. The majority of the game doesn't encourage you to try different things. Guns feel very samey. Warframes feel very samey. There is some more depth there that if you use X Warframe with this weapon, with this build, with this arcane, that you can do some interesting stuff. But the game just seems, in my opinion, just almost fights you on trying to understand and come up with those ideas yourself, unless you really sit down and put your mind into it. But the game doesn't give enough feedback for me so I can understand what I need to do with it to get more out of it. I'm leveling. I know you level weapons by just normally slapping on your back and going to
Yeah.
Elite
Yeah,
Sanctuary
so
Onslaught. I always use a weapon I'm leveling. Always. Always. I
yeah.
never level a weapon by just not equipping it. I always equip it and then go do normal missions until I've got it maxed. And I'll use those weapons in the mission. And annoyingly, I try and do it with Warframes as well, but that's terrible because while you're leveling the Warframe, you unlock the abilities the first time through, so I don't get a good feel for them. Maybe I should try and form every Warframe once, now they've made that change that you get all the abilities unlocked. But the game does feel a lot of the guns, they don't feel special. They don't feel unique anymore because they all. I know you probably could do but you can with the axe. I've got Axeleto Prime there. But it's really cool that if you have this one mod and a Riven that has this, it actually feels like a completely different weapon. And then when they added in kick guns, it's like, okay, there's always kick guns that just really, in my opinion, it's like, I know they actually try and do different things with the kick guns, but it's just like, I just have this hesitancy to even get into it because I just feel they'll all feel the same, or I feel like I've built the wrong one. There's no, again, the game doesn't even let me test out different kick guns in a safe environment. So I go, okay, that's the one I want to try out and I'll build that. It's just like, here's all the things, go buy them. Can I have a test room? No. It's things like that. So and thus it does get this sort of samey factor to me that I just have to kind of keep bashing my head into a wall to try and learn more about the game.
Yeah.
That's just my feeling.
I'll give you that, but that's not you hating the game, though, is it?
I do get bored from it. It does bore me.
Okay.
It does, seriously does. But that's why I'll just I'm not trying to get anything, but I just vary my missions. Today I'm doing a lot of railjack. I think I get them in one of the missions in this. I've gotten all but the recipe of the ambassador gun, which I know a lot of people. I think the recipe is the hardest part to farm, but like people say that's a terrible grind. I just need the recipe now, and by not trying to get it though, I wasn't trying to get it, and I'm like, oh okay, that's nice, because I just do different things every time, and I do get that variety, but it's just that. It's just the basic core gameplay loop with the weapons and things you have to equip. I just feel almost disconnected from them. That's just me, though. And I can get around it. I'm fighting. I'm fighting.
People say this is a horrible grind. I mean, yeah.
What's horrible grind? What?
Podcast? No. To get no. Sorry, no. Like getting the blueprints for a certain weapon. Like seriously, you should try some other games out there.
Well,
was it 6 months in order to get a full set of raid gear from Classic WoW?
Not more.
If
not that's more, Classic WoW, which I suppose is an actual thing. But anyway, that's it. I think we've wrapped up on topic 1. Should we move on to topic 2?
Cool. Topic 2.
Because let's talk about, when I was a point to finish on, I was talking about not understanding the game. Let's see if we can gain some understanding to help us in Steel Path with this next topic.
Is that 52?
That is 52.
Cool. Right. So I wish I knew when what I wish I knew when starting Steel Path. Lower level missions teach you some very bad habits, like playing with suboptimal weapons or gear, or not building primarily for survivability. Copying builds for non-Steel Path is fine, but not Steel Path. I'm not saying looking up builds is bad, but spending the time to understand why something is modded the way it is and just don't copy it. A frame with a well-rounded kit that you play well is far more powerful than a subsumed ability. Okay. You need to be ready to invest in Steel Path. It's not a gimme. Surviving means learning to shield gate, crowd control, adaption, stealth, damage reduction. Think outside the box for your builds. Don't only seek the meta because it doesn't work for all playstyles and skill levels. How does this make you feel?
So some of these points are expanded upon, and some of them are inferred from what they're saying. I agree with some parts of it, but for me, I feel I've done some of those points, and I still feel I suck at Steel Path. I almost feel like there's a list of weapons and frames which, like, you should be using on Steel Path, and a list of weapons and frames that you're like, yeah, lol, no.
In all honesty, with this topic, I feel, well, no shit. Right? You're not telling me that, what's important to take note of. Things
Okay,
like...
how about, hang on, what I'll do. You want to go into detail of them. Obviously, we've just read a nice summary from Tobiah. Thank you, Tobiah.
Sure.
I'll read out the bold titles for the sections.
Sure.
And if there's any you want me to... I'll then read in full any of them you think are interesting. Okay, so we've got...
Okay.
First one is low-level missions teach you some very bad habits. How you mod is more important than... What? How you mod is more important than how you mod. Now, I'm reading this the third time, just to make sure. Word for word. How you mod is more important. That's how you mod. Okay. Next one is meta builds aren't required. Steel Path does require some investment. Survivability changes in Steel Path. Steel Path incursions are your friend. And think outside the box. Would you like me to read any of those out?
Not particularly.
Well, pick one. Pick at least one, because then we'll see in full what they say rather than the...
Okay, right. Let's back it up. Go through them again.
Low-level missions teach you some very bad habits. How you mod is more important. That's how you mod. I think that's than how you mod. Meta builds aren't required. Steel Path does require...
The one.
Okay. Non-Steel Path missions are very forgiving in both how you mod and your frame setups. Non-optimal setups work just fine. When I first started Steel Path, I made the major mistake of watching YouTube looking for vids on how to beat Steel Path. This broke me for the longest time, trying to copy builds and constantly chasing the meta. Every time it wouldn't work. I'd get discouraged and abandon that frame and weapon and start building something new and even more meta. Then I started to learn how to mod better and what damage types work against what faction. I'm not saying looking up builds is bad, but spend time to understand why something is modded the way it is and don't just copy it. There's a bit of a point in there, yeah, but...
See, like... To me, like... That doesn't... That feels like... It might be harsh for me to say this, but it feels like, well, no shit.
Yeah. I mean, if it did say... The only useful sentence I would say in there that I think is useful for Steel Path from what I know is, then I started to learn how to mod better and what damage types work against what faction. I do feel that's a key part of Steel Path. You really should, in Steel Path, have... There probably are people out there who can be like, this one weapon will dominate all Steel Path, and it's like using some stupid build, whatever. But for the majority of the time, if you want to use any weapon, you should then have 3 builds for the 3 different faction types to at least try and gain some advantage, yeah?
I agree.
Yeah, you're on that, yeah. But that's it. That's all I can really pull from there.
Can you pause for a second?
Instead what I can do is mumble on for a few seconds while I find a button to push. There we go. Now we're back.
The sort of stuff that I want to have to be told is like, don't mod for this damage type, or when considering the corpus, it's really valuable to consider magnetic, or there's just like, don't worry about the low level mobs because they do nothing. Does that make sense?
What do you mean, the low level mobs in Steel Path, or the low level mobs in the...
Yeah, no, exclusively Steel Path, because I just feel like, just saying like, be considerate of your build. Really?
Well, okay.
Wow.
Just let's
so
go.
Insightful.
Well, I was just looking through some of the other points, like the meta builds aren't required one, and the Steel Path does require some investment. And was it meta builds aren't required? Look up Steel Path builds and you see video guys like, you can kill everything in one hit with 47 former Uber weapon with primed awesome on Umbral frame with specific helmet combo. And honestly, I spent a lot of resources trying to copy this way of playing as a newer Tenno. Caused a lot of problems. Then I learned that you didn't need a lot of these things to play Steel Path and do good in it. Prime mods are good and do make a difference but aren't needed. I haven't installed a single Umbral former. Helminth helps but isn't needed. A frame with a well-rounded kit that you play well is more powerful than a subsumed ability. Now, yeah, Tobiah copied that point, obviously for us to read. I was hoping that where's the list of frames? Don't just tell me. Oh yeah, some warframes are good. Well, which warframes are you classing as having a well-rounded kit? I would, in some ways, I would say all warframes have a well-rounded kit. Some more than others, apart from Ember. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, she got a rework, but yeah,
many reworks. But yeah, but quite a lot of them have well-rounded kits. But what is a well-rounded kit? Is it like one that can heal as well as CC? Is it pure damage ones? Is it ones that strip armor? Is it ones which buff other teammates? Is it ones that work in an area, or ones that work directly? You know, there's ones with exalted weapons, one with exalted forms or something, ones which have some weird health gimmick mechanic. What do you mean by well-rounded? That's not helpful to me. And then the next point, this is that they never say anything about Rivens. They do say, okay, so this is partly useful. Steel Path does require some investments. You have to get stuff. You will need to run arbitrations to pick up galvanized mods and survivability mods. Yeah, I'd say you could. You don't have to. They do help, pointing out that those exist and are meant for that. As you start collecting arcanes, you will need to unlock the arcane slots. Scaling in Steel Path means you need to keep increasing damage to keep up with enemies.
Okay, so I want to highlight my frustration in this topic. I don't do Steel Path. I don't get Steel Path. I struggle with Steel Path. Do I want to get Steel Path? 100%, right? I want to be able to do Steel Path with a lot more ease and things. And this is one of the reasons why I want to be able to just, quickly swap my builds and things like this across all my weapons, my loadouts and stuff. Maybe I need a Corpus loadout. Maybe I need a Grineer loadout. Maybe I need a defense mission loadout. I don't know, right? Like, again, it just feels like...
Yeah, things in this should be like... things I would like to know is, like, in the Corpus faction, you don't want to build for this, this, and this. The more annoying things are things with proto shields or something, listing these things. These things will cause you issue, and so even though you're building a Corpus gear build, more than likely you want these element types for these. Even though they're limited number of mobs, they will cause you more problems. That's the kind of thing I was expecting.
Exactly.
Or, and you'll start seeing these mobs when you hit Jupiter, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like, consider abilities that, like, have AoE damage, right? Consider abilities that group mass enemies, or have aggro attraction and shit like this, but like, I get what this topic is trying to do, but for me it has swung and missed dramatically. It is, in all honesty, and this is really harsh to say, it is as useful as the YouTube videos that they are complaining about.
Yeah, and at the bottom they do list, like, weapons they use. So, primary, Ignis Wraith, Sedo, and Fulminth. Can you guess the secondary?
Kubernucle.
Yes. That's it. That is the only listed secondary on here. And it's just like, oh, yes, you have a weapon which had to get nerfed because it was so good, and still probably one of the best secondaries you can get. Wow. Get the Kubernucle could have replaced half this list here. Melee, Zoris, love the glaive. Dragon Akana, yeah, it shreds with Condition Overload and a primer. With just one former, okay. And the Vastalok. Okay, so you just like those? Why are they good? You're not telling me why they're good. Frames, right. Okay, so these are the... Remember, Xeno, you need to use well-balanced frames. And he does give they do give a description why they use these ones. So, Wukong, Monkey Mafia, Ivara, can't kill what you can't find. Octavia, when you don't feel like thinking and just want to watch Netflix while playing. Zephyr, can't kill what you can't hit. I don't limit myself to these frames, but these are my go-tos. I mean, maybe for newer players there is some useful information in here for literally a person who has no idea about Steel Path and they are trying to understand about builds and things. But hang on, is the word Riven even mentioned on here? Because that's my thing. No, the word right. Here's the thing I feel about for Steel Path. I mean, they're saying like meta builds aren't required. Why aren't they saying Rivens aren't required? Because that's what when I start with Steel Path and when I don't get in Steel Path and more weapons, is because I feel like if I really want to do in Steel Path, I need to get a decent Riven for my weapon, for all my weapons that I want to use. That's not mentioned at all on here, and I'm sure that's a preconception a lot of players must feel.
Yeah.
Sadly, Xeno's cat's head is just cropped out of the thing, so you don't get to see his little ears. Cute little ears. That's all I can see. Yeah, but so I just feel that. I mean, maybe for a person who has no idea what Steel Path is, a new player coming to the game, this may be useful. Also, I notice it doesn't mention anything about focus trees that can be useful. I know Unairu can be useful for its armor strip, for instance. You know, that's not on here at all. What is... Okay, lower missions very forgiving in how you play, both friends. I used to running to mission for first thing. For first mission in Steel Path, I realised that was a bad idea. Grenade wrecked me hard, and I saw that revive about 30 seconds. You can't just stack health and shields, armor... Wait, okay. Hang on. Survivability changes in Steel Path. You can't just stack more health, shields, and armor and hope to survive. I fell prey to the bad habits of lower level and it did not prepare me for one-shot kills. There quickly becomes a point where even a huge health pool means little when it can be taken out in a single hit. Surviving means learning to shield gate, crowd control, adaptation, stealth, damage reduction. So I just equip... What's it called?
Shield gate, clearly.
No. Adaptation?
Crowd control, clearly.
Adaptation?
Yeah. Adaptation is...
damage reduction.
Damage resistance based on the number of stats.
Is that what they're telling me to do?
I think.
Stealth and damage reduction? Oh no, adaptation is that list. Silly me. Blind. Yeah.
Well, that's yeah. Like, I mean, everyone has a different way of playing. Like, you know, my Oberon is designed to take damage, right? And it can be. Oh no, I was playing with a Mesa. You know, it is possible to still be one shot even with shield gating, right? Because something pops the shield, and then, you know, before your shield recharges, you get hit by something that just knocks you for 6.
Yeah.
Right. It's possible. So shield gating isn't the ultimate thing. Like, again, it's being able to identify. I feel being able to identify who the biggest threats are. You know, the second you hear a heavy gunner, deal with the heavy gunner.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't. Well, I would also say things like if you feel like you're taking damage from loads of sources, learn to stand in positions where you can know what enemies are in sight of you. Because I don't know of any enemy really that can do damage out of line of sight with you. So sometimes maybe get yourself into a corridor, get yourself into a small corner, get yourself ready, you know, come out from there. Don't just jump around like a loon in the middle of the room where everything can shoot you.
Yeah. Like, if anyone has any videos that I like have really solid, helpful tips for, you know, or posts or any articles or anything like that are really helpful tips for Steel Path, please send them our way. Because, like, you know, I want to be able to do Steel Path better, but I ended up doing... God, I did a Steel Path... No, it wasn't Steel Path. God, what did I do? I know I did a defense mission, for my Lich, but there were no other players and doing this Lich defense, and as a result, I had to solo it, and the pod nearly died because it was constantly getting battered while I was trying to deal with this Lich by myself.
The Lich takes,
so people might say, you know, another good thing, avoid these mission types. No one will play them. You know.
Yeah. Well. Okay. I do want to give a plus point for one of these later points I just quickly read through, which was Steel Path incursions are your friend. One nice thing about Steel Path is that once you complete a node, it stays unlocked and you can move on. and incursions can be nodes that you haven't played yet. Give extra steel essence, and since they are the same for all players, you can get help with multiplayer much easier. I run one or two of these when I play to complete mission types I normally don't like, or to unlock farming nodes. I'm looking at you, Mott. Good point there.
Wait, so it will unlock the node even if you haven't unlocked the whole chain?
Yeah.
Okay, that's useful to know.
There we go. I want to give them a plus point for that. I did not know that, and I will use that. They get a point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a loss point, but a point.
Okay, should we move on to the replies?
Yeah, sure. I found myself liking Revenant because... What?
Yeah.
Okay, I found myself liking Revenant because if Steel Path, full stop. For a squishy frame, his CC abilities really shine in Steel Path missions. Nyx has been my Spectre partner when I need a little extra oomph in missions, which is great. Don't sleep on Spectres in Steel Path. Even having Clem helps immensely.
Great to know.
Yeah, some good points there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do Steel Path.
The Spectres mostly.
Yeah, Spectres. Yeah. I suppose it does take away some of the AI will probably target them occasionally and shoot at them, which is just forever useful.
Yeah.
Next one. I do Steel Path with the utility tank Saren build. Fuck meta. Have fun in your own way. Pulling inspiration or knowledge from established meta is fine though, but relying on those builds to the point of using them as a crutch and pigeonholing yourself into exclusively using those builds is gimping your own fun.
Unless you enjoy it. You know, you might like that way of playing, but anyway.
Yep. If you end up teamed with someone, they probably want to clear the same nodes you do. Don't immediately leave the team. You can use Spectres until they broke Spectre AI for interception. Okay. Until they broke the Spectre AI for interception, I could have a Spectre and Clem hold a node while I concentrated on the other three.
Yeah.
But they broke it, apparently. So, sadly, you can't use that. Last one. I find that testing against Exogokstad, Tobiah note, where Tobiah really shows it. Yeah. Exogokstad are Railjack Grenier in Vale. Okay. I find that testing against Exogokstad enemies is a good indicator of Steel Path performance. If your loadout can melt them, your DPS is fine. So I assume that's Exogokstad on just normal Railjack, yeah?
Probably.
Yeah. Also, you need to have either hardcore CC or overwhelming DPS. Frames like Valban are extremely valuable in SP. My favourite loadout is Limbo with Stalata, Lava, and Rift Torment. Ball, Rift, Bomb, Rinse, and Repeat.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Cool.
God, I just keep watching the footage, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I love the look of the things. Like, there's the broken asteroids, the broken things, but they need us to do more things out in missions in our spaceship. Yeah. We need to be able to like drag things around, like scan objects, look for things under time limits, and it just annoys me. You know what I mean? So it just looks so beautiful and so amazing, and it's just like sorry, distracted from the topic.
Anyway, so that was a thing. Yeah. So I honestly really like all those replies. Those replies were really solid.
Yep.
It's very rare that I say that. You know, the replies were more solid than the original topic. But cool.
I think no. I don't want to sell it too short. I think the original topic. Well, one, we showed it did have some good points. Two, I think it needed to be more specific. It was just a little too vague. People don't just give the generalities. People do need that specific for Steel Path. You're not going to. Can't remember how you unlock Steel Path. How much you have to do?
I think you have to unlock all the nodes
on the star chart.
Yeah.
Right. So players are already at the point where they'll have had a big pile of mods and they'll have seen that you can get mods that are damage to corpus. You may have looked at the codex and seen that some armor types take more damage. So people are aware of that. Give them specifics for, these mobs are... Like the person who said, test yourself against the Exogokstad. Specific unit. Test yourself. You know, if the person said, you're going to find these annoying here, you're going to find these annoying here, this frame is useful against corpus, but infested, it's not going to be as useful. Maybe have this build, maybe use this element, use this mod. This mod's great. We needed more depth for a lot of this, I think. It's too general. Yeah. It's not... if you're going to do a few key points of what you need to stay past, they just need to be on like that one on the use the what are they called? Oh, I'm going to find this. Use the incursions. That one explains why and what to do. That one's brilliant. That point was good. They should have all been like that.
Yep.
Cool. Right. Well, that's it on topic 2. So I will go here and go by topics. Bam. So then I go back here and it says that this is time for graphs.
Right. So cool. Right. So now we're going to move on to the graphs. So graph number 1. I need to find Chrome. There we go. So graph number 1 is when do you think the new war will be released?
Have you been running this one repeatedly? I can't remember.
Yeah, until we get it. So
even this week, with a set deadline, this will still be there.
Yeah, but the thing is, we didn't get the set deadline until the day after this came out.
Yeah, so... I know. But we now have the deadline. Will we still have this poll? Okay.
Yeah. Right. So we've got 13% said this month, 30% said next month, and 57% said it's a little airborne. It's still good. It's still good. I like that. The silly one got the lead.
Back when Simpsons were good.
Yeah. I haven't watched them in years now.
No one
right.
has.
So the next question is, do you agree with any of the quality of life settings in topic 1? Now, these were checkboxes, so you could select multiple. So the big 3 that were selected were 91% said being able to see which items you've already crafted. Another 91% for being able to see which relics are vaulted, and then 96% saying better preview for Warframe cosmetic attachments. Right, those were the big ones, and then our lowest ones were ability to skip all cutscenes.
Yeah,
right. Include
separate point of including cinematic quests and cutscenes.
No, that was 1 point. Sorry,
okay.
it comma separated it, so that's just the same 13%.
Was there a comma after cutscenes?
Yes, and as a result, it's caused it to...
Good old CSV.
Yep. So, and then turning off boss transmission windows. So that's at 17%, and then 30% is turning off orders transmission windows. So, but I like how skipping all the cutscenes was the lowest. Right? Okay, so we'll move on to the next one now. How do you feel about the differently shaped green health bars for friendly units? 4% said negative. Why?
Whatever you're doing with your hands, they're off screen, just to let you know.
Yeah. 35% said neutral, but you could feel it. You felt the energy. And 61% said positive.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. So, come on, can we please have like different health bars and for friendly units? Right. Okay. So the next one is: do you see the next Prime Warframe?
Do you want to see
the next Prime Warframe with Aya instead of the regular way? 30% said yes. 70% said no. I like you, 70%. Like the cut of your jib.
Cut of your jib.
And then the last one is: how do you feel about a token system to remove the RNG of getting new relics that Loz and Xeno discussed? 27% said negative, 32% said positive, and 41% said neutral. So that was quite evenly spread.
Evenly spread there, yeah.
Yep. So that is it for the... I think like after we discussed it in depth, like I was against it. So, but I wanted to explore it properly. So, yeah, so that is it for the graphs. And now I'm going to try and find the Google Doc again. There we go. So, moving on to the supporter questions.
Before I read out Zoogel's question, I just want to say thank you all for listening to our podcast so far. We really appreciate all the likes and comments everyone leaves on these episodes. I forgot that you wanted accents on these, Zoogle. I'll try better for next time. Next point Is the
What?
hang on. Is there really a place in Wales called the land where
What?
I don't know. La land fair flin gwyn gich gloggoch kwyn.
Yes. Yes. Yes, there is.
You can just mash a keyboard with random letters and then say, is there a place in Wales called this? And you'll probably be right.
Wait, no. I don't think
That's not the
that's the one I'm
longest. That's
thinking
not the
of.
lot.
That's not the longest one.
No.
That's not the longest one.
That's yeah.
So I don't know actually.
I all I remember is Tenby, 5 letters in English. In Welsh, it's like Dis bis godlis bis hood.
Well, I know
Tenby.
Cardiff is Caerdydd.
Hey, why is that so easy?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Well, like, you know, oh god, Bridgend is Pennebont.
Right.
Cowbridge is a Bontvine. You got Llantrissant, Lansana, Lanharin. Pontyclun. Right? Guess how you would spell it?
PFR to the power 2 square root of x minus 3.
Wow, I'm impressed. Yeah, no, it's like it's spelled like Pontyclun. Everyone that has no idea how it's pronounced says Pontyclun. It's like, oh yeah, get it. You know, I went to Pontyclun. Do you mean Pontyclean? It's like, yeah, it's like no, it's Pontyclun. I'm like, yeah, no. Anyway,
hang on. While we're talking about Wales, I just need to check something. I think he was called Lord Michael. Have you heard the story? Oh, I think it was he called himself Lord Michael from Wales.
Oh, is this the getting abducted from like the guy that went to
the mad lad who decided to go down to Afghanistan because they didn't say he couldn't go, and it was just before, you know, he planned to be in and out before the US withdrawal, but obviously that went all to pot really quickly. And but he made some clever provisions. Like he bought one of those places in Scotland so he could call himself Lord. Put it on all his credit cards and all his information so that if he did get kidnapped, they think he's someone of value. But also, at one point, the Taliban do come up to him and say, "Where are you from?" And he says, very proudly, "I'm from Wales." And they're like, "Where?" He's like, "Oh, don't worry, we hate the British." And they laughed at him, then just walked off and left him. They didn't know where Wales was. They didn't know what Wales was. He said, I'm from Wales." And they're like, "Oh, don't worry, we just really hate the British as well. So don't, you know, we also hate the British or something."
Did he say the British and not the English?
I think he said English. Maybe he said English. I can't remember. He said something like that. And then they just laughed at him and walked off and left him alone. So if you're in doubt, just say you're from Wales. No one knows where it's from.
Yeah, mad lad. I think there's only 2 places in the world that actually speak Welsh: North Wales and then like some remote island off the Canary Islands.
Ah,
yeah, that's it. That's the only 2 places in the entire world that speak Welsh.
Right.
Not even South Wales.
No, of course not. Right. So moving on to Thalian's points. With Dee's last dev stream before the new WAAAAAAAAH, they've we should call that the new WAAAAAAAAH. Should be that. Between the new WAAAAAAAH, they've previewed a couple of things that will be important to consider before we start. However, one preview that caught my eye, Thalian confirmed only having one eye?
No, it's the saying.
Thalian confirmed only having one eye. Pixar didn't happen. Right. However, one preview that caught my eye was Caliban, who has the ability to throw sentient conculists at people. Is this in fact a reference to Pimp My Ride, where they heard we wanted sentinels, so they give us a sentient... Sorry, we wanted sentience, so they give us a sentient to fight sentience on sentient ships in a sentient war with sentience? Yes.
I don't know the reference to Pimp My Ride, but yes.
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 Yes. You know, it's the
Yes.
meme. It's like, I heard you like Warframes, so I put Warframes in your Warframes to give you Warframes. You must have seen that meme.
That's just another format from another meme.
Yeah, I think that meme comes from Pimp My Ride, where they said that there must have been a scene where the person said, I heard you like rims. I'm guessing. I heard you like rims, so we put rims
Right.
on your rims to give you rims that rim. You know, something like that.
Right. Okay.
And lastly, Thanian says, to go along with these new reveals, D also showed us Harrow Prime. And I want to give Loz a little time to fanboy over him, if he hasn't already done so. So this episode. Done so. Damn it. If he hasn't already done so this episode. Xeno, count him down for 30 seconds.
1 Mippipippy, 2 Mippipippy, 3 Mippipippy, 4 Mippipippy, 5 Mippipippy, 6 Mippipippy, 7 Mippipippy, 8 Mippipippy, 9 Mippipippy, 10 Mippipippy, 11 Mippipippy, 12 Mippipippy, 13 Mippipippy, 14 Mippipippy, 15 Mippipippy, 16 Mippipippy, 17 Mippipippy, 18 Mippipippy, 19 Mippipippy, 20 Mippipippy, 21 Mippipippy, 22 Mippipippy, 23 Mippipippy, 24 Mippipippy, 25 Mippipippy, 26 Mippipippy, 27 Mippipippy, 28 Mippipippy, 29 Mippipippy, and 30 Mippipippy. Point to anyone that gets the reference. First person that gets a reference.
First person can have a point. I haven't given out a point in a while, and you can have a point in the comments if you understand what the hell he's talking about. Yeah, as for Harrow, I mean, I do like Harrow, and I want to play Harrow more, and I hope with a little bit of tweaks he can be better. But until we get, I'm sorry, Thady, until we get to the point in which when I spin the Thurble, I can hit people with it, Harrow is incomplete.
No, but to be fair, he does look dope as hell.
He does look dope as hell, and he's already got a better helmet to the. I hope that helmet actually fits with the. You know how sometimes the helmet doesn't fit with the prime body because the textures will be a bit off. I do hope it fits well because that night helmet is just amazing.
It was quite funny because I was talking to Marcus about it, and I would say like, "Damn, I wish I could just take that really cool golden spine he has and just give it to Oberon and get rid of that stupid ribbed for your pleasure neck." You know what I mean?
But then he wouldn't be ribbed for your pleasure.
Yeah, good, because it looks gross.
Deary me. Right, well, that's it for the supporter questions. Let's just go into a few community responses. Just a few things. Cool. Peter Graver says the devs. Yes, apparently we got this wrong.
Well,
Peter Graver calling us to task again. The dev stream is at 10 a.m. Eastern. Obviously, this is gone by now, but the dev stream is at 10 a.m. Eastern in the morning, not night. 3 p.m. UK is right because you are 5 hours ahead of us. You're going to make someone miss their Twitch drop.
Did I say 10 p.m.?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Peter Graver's normally good at holding this. But also, at Xeno, something from 55 minutes in last time, the bug that causes people to be locked in the opening cutscene has been in the game for nearly 2 years, if not longer. It was not just added with the sisters, it's caused by rushing from one game session to the next. You're stuck in the cutscene because there is still background content loading. This bug can be easily replicated. A host with a fast connection finishes one match and force launches the next match before everyone is fully loaded will cause this. Also, if the host hits the quick repeat mission button before people have loaded, when they get out the loading screen, their HUD will be missing and cannot interact with anything, leaving the only option for either the host.
Too many parts.
It's just saying the bug's there.
But that sounds like a different bug from the one I was talking about.
Oh, okay. I'll send you after the thing for you to read if you want.
Okay.
There's a lot to it.
Because originally the game would wait for all players to be ready before it would start the mission. But I swear, with the release of the sisters, they changed it so that as soon as you have finished loading, you go straight into the mission. So if you are the host, you will more than likely load before anyone else, and you can skip the cutscenes, which other people can't. I don't know what Peter Graver is talking about. Yeah, send me that thing.
I will do. Nico Muller. According to Topic 1, I really would love to have the option to turn off specific parts of the HUD. For example, turning off the mission list on the left side without removing the waypoints. Do you already used it for some TennoCon demos, and I don't know why they didn't put it in the game by now. It would make many missions much more immersive. I love immersion.
Yeah.
Bones the Wonderful. Topic 2, I would have relic packs. Pay 5 Aya, get 5 random relics related to the current prime. Remove the current Aya grind and introduce a system to grind your old relics for Aya.
What?
So I think your existing relics, you could, instead of getting out what's in them, you could get Aya out of them. And then also give a random pack of 5 random relics, I assume from all relics, for 5 Aya.
No.
Okay, and
sorry. Just to say, like, I appreciate where you're coming from, but the problem is that people like myself, like Loz, we are sat on literal mountains of relics because of the whole void key scenario. Like, we have yet to spend, I don't know how many of our relics. We got shit tons.
I think there was an episode a while back, like 10 episodes or so ago, where I just literally just kept doing relic after relic, and I still didn't make a dent in the. And I, you know, just that, and that's the. I don't farm for new ones, so it's just randomly what I've picked up combined with what I had years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, right, and so that system changed how many years ago? And we've still got truck tons of them.
Yeah. Right, and then what's the last one from JJ24? Just the one?
What?
Hang on, there's been a new comment. Newest first. King of Gaming from 1 hour ago, at point of recording. From the perspective of someone who farms new primes, I also feel like Topic 2 was asking too much. There you go.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right, and the last point which I want to give, but for some reason it's messed up in my notes. From JJ24. I disagree with the token system to remove the RNG from relic acquisition. A token system would help prevent the 100+ hour farming cases. Monster Hunter Rise effectively cut the grind tenfold by allowing you to buy the progression decorations in a shop. As a result, people have stopped playing Rise because of a content drought. People might hate it, but RNG is a necessary evil in this case.
I agree.
Yeah, there is. It does have a part to play in these things. I think a game which had no RNG on the loot would probably not last as long. The RNG is a little bit of spice sometimes. It does you know, it's good to get a drop.
I mean,
you know?
What's the saying? Variety is the spice of life.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's it from the community responses. Now we move on
to the memes. I need to get the time. Is that 1:32?
That is. So.
Cool.
Everyone who doesn't know, these memes are from the r/memeframe subreddit, and there will be links in the description of this video if you want to go find them, along with the secret meme of the week, which is normally a video, and I have put it in there. I can't remember. I went for one and I changed it in the end. Oh yes, I think you've gotten rid of your Motamp, haven't you?
Yeah,
Good.
but I still hold firm. Best amp only because it has a sodding fucking name.
Okay. Well, meme number 1, as we have it here, which I need to get the title that someone gave it, which is over here.
Caliban is the best friend now.
No, Caliban is best friend now. Yes, so friendship ended with Revenant. Now Caliban is my best friend. There was a few of these. Like they also had the like Jason, the cooler Jason, or whatever it is, meme with Revenant and Caliban. And I have to agree, I mean, we even saw Revenant much earlier than most people, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you can say. You're allowed to say that.
Yeah, I am actually, yeah.
Yeah. But even so, and I was really hyped for it when originally saw it. And then, do you play Revenant much?
No. He's spin and win, isn't he?
Well, so's Caliban.
Is he?
Yeah, it's first.
Oh yeah, God, yeah. To be honest, like I need to give more Warframes more of a chance, more of a shot. But still, I like the look of Caliban.
How would you do that though in this day and age?
Huh?
I used to find it really easy to give a new Warframe a chance because my weapons that I just picked up and used weren't overpowering, 5 years ago,
Steel
whatever
Path.
it was. Yeah, Steel Path, I guess.
Yeah.
I suppose you level it to 30,
I
then
think...
take it to Steel Path, maybe former it once, yeah.
Yeah, get to MR 30 first. Complete that sodding test. That test is fucking hard. Anyway, should we go to the next one?
If anyone would like to give Xeno some advice on how to
No,
complete his Master Strength 30 test,
no.
please
Xeno
put
wants
it
to do
into
it
the
by
comments.
himself. He's working it out himself.
Please put it in the comments below and end my suffering, as he's been doing it for days now and keeps reminding me. Right, moving on to meme number 2.
What the fuck is this?
Dawn of the final day. 24 hours remain. When you start making a new Warframe in the Foundry. I have no idea. I assume it's
Why?
It's
Is that Quentin Tarantino?
It's Quentin Tarantino walking around. I assume it's his house looking at things, and kind of someone has given him a smile as he waits for his limbo to finish building.
Limbo Prime, yeah.
Yep.
Like, weirdest fucking shit ever.
Yep, there's memes, man.
Okay.
Meme
next
number
one.
3. Logging in on Warframe with a coup village be like, I've been waiting for you, Tenno! I'll deal with you later. Ah! What? That is most definitely every time I log into the game.
What's with the weird side head?
I don't know why that side head is there. I think that's just an error because I do not understand why that's there. And I swear I have seen that scene in Naruto, so yeah.
Okay.
Or Shippuden.
Next one.
Meme number 4. More invincible memes. New war starts. My Umbra modded corrosive Saren with 1,549,804 red crit Zor. Earth isn't yours to conquer. That's how it is, though. That'd be true. It'd be like, oh, yeah.
Yep.
Sentience. No.
Yep.
Right, moving on to meme number 5. This
damn it.
pondering my orb.
That's rude, that is.
Why?
Because they didn't credit the original artist. It's primed average.
There's a source at the bottom.
Is there?
Yep, there's a source in the comments. No, it's not on the thing, but it is in the comments that they say. Is it by the person who did it? No, it is someone else who sourced it.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that is.
This is primed average's Reddit account.
Is it?
Yeah, because Dark Hunter 1, because then somebody pasted it and said, source, this is it from Twitter, and then Dark Hunter 1 went, yep, that's me. Cool, great art, wasn't sure. Dark Hunter 1, no worries, thank you. There you go. Is this one of your community shoutouts?
Might be.
Gotta ponder that orb, man. Gotta ponder that orb. So I'm on to meme number 6? Yes, 6.
Yeah.
Meme number 6. Stop it. Get some help. So if it's going to be kind of small, so it'll be in the comment description for people to click the link. We've got Peter Griffin from Family Guy goes, talking to God. Hey, do atheists go to hell? No. How about people who still ask for Excalibur Prime despite having Excalibur Umbra? Straight to hell, to the boiler room of hell, all the way down. Good. That makes me happy. You ain't getting it. You ain't getting it.
It's at the end. It's just when he's like, good. That makes me happy.
Yep. Just the last point is Peter smiling, going, good. That makes me happy.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, now we move on to the community shoutouts of the week.
Yep.
And we go on to number 1. Is it Pondering My Orb? It is not Pondering My Orb.
Are you just going to guess each time?
Each time until
Okay, the first.
Is that a gunbuster? No, that is not a gunbuster.
Right. The first community shout out is Zephyr Prime by Skylar Chase.
Zephyr Prime, and yet another entry into my Human Warframe series. This time showcasing Zephyr Prime. I really enjoyed this one. How about you? That looks awesome.
Yep. The second community shout out is I'm Slightly Sorry.
I'm only slightly sorry.
I thought it was only I'm only slightly sorry. But yeah, I'm only slightly sorry.
we do need to schedule some Among Us.
Yeah.
It's best played with friends. I've tried playing like randos. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, you need the voice, don't you?
You need the voice. Well, no. It's the betrayal of people you know, and as people that you know try and convince you. No, I'm on your side. I'm like, fuck you, Xeno. Fuck you. Yeah. Right, we're on to meme.
I did that to you, didn't I? I was just with you the entire fucking time.
Yep. It's like, I think I defended you, was how it went.
Yes, you did.
I was like, no, Xeno's been with me this entire game. He ain't killed anyone.
Everyone was dead. Everyone was dead except for like
this my boy. He's been with me all game.
Yeah.
We've been safe. And he's like, been safe. He wouldn't.
And he was the last kill I killed. And he was like, what the fuck?
I defended you.
Yeah, we need to play some more Among Us.
Moving on to
this is what holidays.
There we go. Shout out number 3.
Right. Nobody expects the Harrow Inquisition.
The Harrow Inquisition.
By Jorial.
Why are they all wearing Japanese schoolgirl uniforms?
That's because that's what they do. Like all of the all of Jorial's style is that they're wearing schoolgirl uniforms.
Okay.
All of them.
Sorry, for a second there, I thought you were about to say the Monty Python Spanish Inquisition were wearing schoolgirl uniforms. I'm like, wait, what? No.
No. Not quite.
Right.
The fourth community shout out is Nidus by Death Maggots with 6s.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not quite. I'm not saying this is pixel art, but it does. Maybe it's because the screen I've got it on. I mean, it's a beautiful piece, but it does remind me of the kind of the lighting, especially on the Grineer and things. How 90s video games, DOS video games, kind of used to animate things.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, like late 90s, where they actually had more color.
Yeah, I totally appreciate it. And to me, it looks amazing. I love that background lighting, the way it's like that. It just warms the cockles of me heart.
Right. The fifth community shout out is Neff pondering his orb by Primed Average.
Meme doodle. Like taking a break from other projects, inspired by Redford, who did her own version earlier. Yeah, Reb just copied like a Photoshop version. This is true pond. Have you seen the original Pondering My Orb?
No, I haven't actually.
It's like some D&D thing of just like a wizard in like a big chair. And there's just like a blue orb, like, the Palantir from Lord of the Rings.
I have seen other references to that, but yeah.
So that's where it comes from. And this is how I love memes, is that's just an image from like the 90s or 80s or something. And somebody's gone like, pondering my orb. It's just like, our whole thing springs from one concept. That's why the internet is amazing.
And then the sixth community shout out is Stretch by Ibumuck.
What is the stretch between? Is it just a building of some form or something?
No. It's two lorries. It's the Jean-Claude Van Damme stretch. The splits.
Oh, yeah, I see it now. I see it.
Yeah. But he's also split his body as well.
So what was that? 6? So, and I noticed there was a 7th.
7, right, is Garuda Shirogane by Takaya Lee.
She's
we've had some
gorgeous in HD wallpaper, apparently.
Yeah. So we've had some of their stuff before, more of the Shirogane style of Warframes and things, and yeah, this was one of them. And I we have to get this in there as well. We just have to slide it in.
You couldn't wait a week. You couldn't wait. It had to be.
No, I mean it's getting closer to New War.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. New War's going to dominate stuff, I assume, and inspire a whole new wave of stuff. So
even before New War comes out. So right. So that is it for the community shoutouts, and that is it for the end of this episode. We're getting close to the new WAAAAAAAH, and yeah.
There's an outro button. There we go. I was about to jokingly say, and now it's time for Xeno's quote.
Wow!
Wow!
So yeah.
Yeah. Right. So hope. This is released 3 or 4 days before New War, or a week and a day?
No. Week and 2 days.
Week and 2 days. Okay, so there'll be another episode out before New War.
Yeah.
And finally, New War. Do you want to just do one more pitch to whatever that crazy whatever it was you mentioned at the start?
Yeah. So again,
which I assume is arbiters.
If I'm not telling you,
I assume it's arbiters.
If all goes well,
Always arbiters.
there will be a video coming out on either the main channel or the 10 o'clock channel. On Tuesday. I'm just gonna quickly look up the.
Oh, is this your new form of arbiters? I remember you were working on that.
Shh. On Tuesday the 7th, so keep an eye out for that. I'll plaster it all over Twitter and shit. So yeah, there we go. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll talk to you all later.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Loz.
Bye bye, Loz.
Bye.
Bye.